So I might be obstructing your view here, or do you want me to shift a little bit, or are you okay? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I should have done some makeup. I forgot my makeup. So, right. Okay. Right here. So you must have your phone, so that's okay. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So we'll just do call and response first, like we always do. Ete sakhyaya sakhyo me. Sorry. Let's do it again. Ete sakhyaya sakhyo me. Nara naryascha manada. Suptayam mai jagarti. Nagoyam palayan purim. Ete sakhyaya sakhyo me. Nara naryascha manada. Suptayam api mai jagarti. Nagoyam palayan purim. Ete sakhaya sakhyo me. Nara naryascha manada. Suptayamai jagarti. Nagoyam palayan purim. Alright, who wants to take it? Ete sakhyaya sakhyo me. Nagoyam palayan purim. Ete sakhaya sakhyo me. Nara naryascha manada. Suptayamai jagarti. Nagoyam palayan puri. Nara jagarti. Nagoyam palayan puri. Sakhyaya sakhyo me. Nara naryascha manada. Nagoyam palayan puri. Ete, all these. Sakhaya, male friends. Sakhya, female associates. Me, my, same words. Me, my. Nara, men. Narya, women. Cha, and Manada, oh very respectful one. Suptayam, while sleeping. Mai, I am. Jagarti, keeps awake. Naga, snake. Naga is an interesting word. It's like in English saying no go. So the way they form Sanskrit words is the words represent the shapes of the forms of the object. So for example, when you say go, ga, it's the same words. So if you say a tree, they call it pada pa. Why do they call it? Because pada, foot. Pa is drinker, someone who drinks with its foot. A tree. Because you have to pour water at its root. So khaga is a bird. Kha is sky. Ga, someone who goes in the sky, is a bird. Naga is a no-goer because it doesn't have legs. So they call it a snake. So they can play with words like that in Sanskrit. So quite a phonological kind of language. For me, like, communication is everything. It tells about a civilization. If this is a kind of language these people are speaking, it tells us about, it's an indication about the civilization. So the language represents the civilization. So if such a sophisticated, such a transcendental language couldn't be, from some people who were living in, cave dwellers and, beating the female monkeys with the club and dragging them in the caves. It's not like that. So, I am this. Palayan, protecting. So you may see that Palayan, police comes from that. So police are all protectors. Palayan, Pala, police. Purim, this city. So Singapore, the Puri, the Por in Singapore is the Purim here. Okay. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki. My dear gentlemen, all these men and women with me are known as my friends, and the snake, who always remains awake, protects this city, even enduring my sleeping hours. So much I know. I do not know anything beyond this. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Puranjana inquired from the woman, about these 11 men and their wives and the snake. The woman gave a brief description. This is Puranjani. Brief description of them. She was obviously without full knowledge of her surrounding men and women and the snake. As stated before, the snake is the vital force of the living being. It's not actually surprising that she says that she doesn't know the snake or the guards and how they are operating in the city. Why? Because we have no clue how our body is operating. We eat and then we are pretty hopeful and we expect, and it's promising that food we ate will convert into the energy with different functions, from the livers, from the fire in the kinds of about 12 kinds of fires in the body, something like that, and 5 kinds of air: prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. Oh, come on, give it. Bingo. So there's 5 kinds of airs in the body moving. One's upwards, one's downwards. So there's so many airs that are moving. Winds. Airs converts into winds and they are moving. So if you go to I think I might have discussed this before. If you go to a Ayurvedic doctor, the first thing they do, even before, like you tell what your problem is, even the prognosis, before the diagnosis, first they do is just hold your nerve and check your winds. Are you vata, are you kapha, or pitta? And that's depending on the various combinations of the wind of your body. So this is not so flabbergasting. Oh wow, how does the wind keep you awake? Sometimes the stories of Bhagavatam and the purports of Bhagavatam or the explanations of Bhagavatam sound fantastic. You understand? Fantastical stories. too fantastic sometimes. But I'd like to put that into perspective. Is it okay? So, she's saying that the snakes is vital force of the living being. The vital force always remain awake in the body, and the senses become fatigued. And the senses become fatigued and do, is it not work? It looks like there's a typo there, huh? Even in the state of unconsciousness, when we sleep, the snake or the life force remains intact and awake. Consequently, we dream when we sleep. When the living entity gives up this material body, the vital force still remains intact and is carried to another body. So, first let me quote, let me put this into context from a Gita point of view. 15th chapter of Gita is one of the most important chapters. Every chapter is important. But from this perspective, what we are reading today, 15th chapter is quite relevant. So I think it's maybe 7 or 8. Shariram yadavapnoti yachha utkramatishvara granati samyati vayurgana nivashya. So Krishna explains how the life is carrying from one body to the next. And he says, Shariram yadavapnoti, how the consciousness in the body, how it pops in out and pops into a next body, how it keeps popping into one form into another, how it happens is because due to the life air, gandhami vashaya. Just like the wind is carrying the aromas that it goes into the gardens, in the same way, the life air is carrying your consciousness, your mind, your awareness into the next form. The wind has that power. Now you might say, really? Really? And not just that, he goes further. He says, Shariram shrutam chakshu sparshnam cha rasnam grahaneva cha adhishtayam manascheva manasa upasayate. He says, like all these ear functions and the eyes and the senses and the touches, they're grouped around our mind. They're grouped around mind and they operate like those 11 gods together. Those 11 guards mentioned here, they're operating in a pact like a mafia, like a little, like a little body mafia. I'm serious. I know it sounds funny, but seriously, it's like a mafia in the body. So, and then he goes next again. This is important. There's a reason. I don't want to chuck Sanskrit at you today. First day back after the long weekends, like Prabhu, back to reality, give us a break. So, utkramantam sthitam vapi bunjanam vagunanvitam vimudhananu pashyanti pashyata gnana chakshusa. So he says, utkramantam, how it keeps doing this cycle from one body to another through this wind air, just like aroma is being carried. In the same way, our consciousness and Atma is being carried. Vimuda nanupashyanti. Vimuda, one is covered with bodily ignorance, is mad. Muda and mad are same words. Vimuda is like distinctively mad. It's like he gets the A grades in the mad section. It's like straight A scores. Vimuda nanupashyanti, because he's so mad and he's completely absorbed in the material body, he can't see all this. So now you may say, okay, how can you see, Radhika Prasad? You don't pretend like you're not your body. Anybody knows a little bit about ocean birds? Ocean birds, Australian ocean birds? Anybody? No? I'll tell you a little National Geographic in Lagos. So I took my girls to cruise because they had done like 108 bookstalls last year. They helped me with 108 bookstalls. So, and Nikhil here, my Sankirtan warrior, he comes dead or alive. He arrives there. So what happens is, so it was 108 bookstalls. So I thought I'll reward these little, companions I have. So I took the girls to the cruise. And we were going to New Caledonia. We were in Coral Sea. And we are like thousands of kilometers away from land. Okay? And there's this Australian ocean birds. They got them Australian gannets. You may know that. Australian gannets. They look a little bit like half albatross, half shearwater, then petrels. So gannets, petrels, Providence petrels, gannets, albatross. So all these are ocean birds. So my daughter looked at the birds and they're flying. The ship is like 13 stories. It's a massive ship. It's like oh my goodness. It's got a casino in there. It's 13 floors. It's got like, it's walking into a Westfield, literally. I felt like I was walking into Parramatta Westfield. It's no joke. How do they build it? God knows. So we were on the 6th floor, which is like after the lower and 0 floor. So that's 8th floor. And my daughter was looking out of the balcony, and she looked at these birds, and we were thousands of kilometers away from land. And it's not just one or two, we're talking hundreds and thousands of them coming and going. And my daughter started wondering, she's only 8 years old, she started, Dad, this is a little interesting. I said, what's going on? She said, it's 6 o'clock. We like to watch, I like to go into the balcony and chant when the sun is coming up. Oh God. How beautiful it is. Oh God. Chanting Hare Krishna, watching the sunrise in the sea. Oh God. I mean, it makes lust look like little, puppy jumping around. God gracious. So beautiful. Chanting Hare Krishna is the best thing that has happened in my life. It's just class. So I like to sit in the balcony and I was chanting Hare Krishna. It was so early in the morning, it's like 5:30. After we've already been chanting for a while and starting these birds, and my daughter said, we are thousands of kilometers away from the land. It's 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. How did these birds get here? And the ship is doing 30 knots an hour, approximately. It does about 25 to 35. Let's do average 30. Let's put 30 on it, right? And they are right with the ship on the 8th floor of the ship, and they're just going with the ship for hours and hours and hours and hours. And my daughter's like, this is very, very astonishing phenomena. Where did they sleep last night? How are they traveling? What did they eat to have so much energy? And I thought, okay, I'm going to have to give a little, as you can imagine, Radhika Prasad, give him a chance. So I gave her a little National Geographic history. So what happens is they don't actually go to land. They don't need land. They can stay in the ocean for years and years and years. So where do they sleep? They actually sleep on the ocean floor, on the top of the ocean, just floating. Because the way their body, the feathers are made, they're all waterproof. And the buoyancy is in a way that they can just float, and all they need is micro naps. They don't need to go like, 6 hours like us. So they can sleep like that. And in terms of, now we're coming to the air part. In terms of how do they get the energy without having even had breakfast in the morning, actually they're getting their energy from the winds. They're eating the winds with their bodies, eating not like chewing, not like that. They're eating the winds with their bodies. They're called wind gradients. So the gradations and the gradients on the wind, they don't even need to flap. And outside in that stormy weather, they're actually spending as much energy as you would be spending if you're lying on a couch. Can you believe that? They're spending as much energy as you would spend if you're nicely lying on a comfortable couch in between those storms in the middle of the sea, thousands of kilometers away from land. Now, why did I tell you the story? If an Australian gannet, a sheer water, a petrel, an albatross, with its mechanical body, can use the winds, eat the winds, rest in the winds, and while flying, sleep in the wind, and then wake up in the wind, and then don't need the land. All their living is by air. So if an Australian gannet and a petrel and a sheer water and an albatross, ocean, these are all ocean birds, if they can survive just on the winds, how much could be the power of consciousness in your body to just float and maneuver and live on the energy of the wind? Why is it so fantastic to believe? It happens every day. And we are here sitting here now, but they're doing it as we speak, like millions of birds out there maneuvering in the sea. Just wind is their couch. And the stronger the storm, like the stronger the winds, like 5 kinds of winds, the more they thrive, the more they rest. So if a physically, mechanically equipped, an ocean duck, an ocean bird can eat the wind, thrive on the wind, what to say about a conscious Atma in your body? So if Krishna says, Shariram yadavapnoti yacha putkamatishvara, gruhitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani, like air, like carries the wind, the conscious entity maneuvers through the prana air, the snake of the pranas, and keeps popping from one body to another. Why is this so astonishing? Why does it have to be so fantastic when we see so many phenomena like this already? Do you see what I'm trying to say? So the reason I gave you this story is because to understand the operation of the consciousness in your body. So you already know the story of the soul being like the tip of the 100th of the 100th and the 1/10 and all that stuff. So that's obviously when the soul has like turtle, it kind of withdrew itself. Otherwise, soul has a nice form and everything. Okay. So it just kind of, when it's in the body, it kind of withdraws as a turtle withdraws, and it looks like that little tip. And the consciousness, the energy of the soul, the consciousness is being manipulated with this snake called prana, and it's going throughout the body. You won't care until I tell you. As soon as I tell you, can you feel the tip of your toe? Now you can feel all of a sudden. Until then, you didn't care. Can you feel the tip of your toe? Can you feel it now? Until then, you didn't. But when I said, all of a sudden, oh yeah, I can feel the tip of the toe. So the awareness is shifting in your body based on where your Atma is focusing, but the conscious circuit is already established in the body. The consciousness as a circuit is established in the body, and the electrician comes, and then when he puts his little that checking meters in there. Who's an electrician engineer here? Anybody? So when you put engineers, any engineers here? Anyway, so they will know how to check where how to circuit the electricity, where the short circuit is, where to connect the circuits back. He knows that. In the same way, the Atma with its intention called Chittam is shifting its focuses. So what are we doing in Bhakti Yoga? We are bringing the Chittam back into focused Krishna consciousness. Does it tie up? All the story of the ocean ducks and the snakes and the Puranjani and the Puranjana and all that, does it kind of tie up now? Make sense? Chitta, so with intention, just like you have a circuit, electric circuit, right? and then you call the electrician. It shorts. Say you had a short circuit. Hopefully, it never happens. So the electrician can come and check the electricities and circuit it back to where the powers are meant to be. You understand? In the same way, the consciousness entity, the Atma electrician, the circuit is already there in the body. The Atma electrician, based on the intention, is focusing. As soon as I said, can you feel the tip of the toe? All of a sudden, the electrician has moved his focus here. And you can feel the tip of the toe. Do you understand? That electricity is being carried by the prana. You get it? Just like the wires are there. So that's a snake, so you can see the snakes right there. See, just raise your head there. See the snakes there? The wires? Yeah, that's the snakes. So the airs in the body, the prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana, these are like the snakes of the air, keeping that circuit intact in the body. It's pretty cool. When you really get these things and you understand your body, and then you understand how this body is just a temporary machine, oh God, the relaxation that comes in your life, please get it. Please be happy. Being happy is your entitlement. Being happy, being blissful, being blissed out is your constitutional entitlement. Don't lose it. Don't let anybody else distract it. That's the point. The problem you have is that sometimes you want to be there, but you get distractions. Don't let anybody else distract you from the bliss. If you can do that, you're a winner. You're Grand Slam. You got like 4 Grand Slams in 1 year. That is the technique. To let others not distract you from your original constitutional position as bliss. Anandamayo abhyasat. You understand where this is going? Yeah? Kind of sinking in now? So that's to understand. This is all what the Puranjana story Narada Muni is doing. He's showing the mechanics. Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. Remember? 18.69. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridesha Tishtati Brahman Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. It's like a machine, it's like a circuit. The consciousness is like the electricity, and the Atma electrician can maneuver and circuit it back wherever he wants to. In Bhakti Yoga, what we're doing, we're bringing it back to Krishna consciousness. But initially, the problem we have is to ascribe this Krishna as the supreme, like the Purusha of the whole is consciousness circuit of the whole spiritual and material universes. That is the challenge. If you can achieve that challenge, if you can connect to that challenge, that consciousness doesn't have to be some dumb, corporal blurb. It can be a beautiful Satchitananda form, and he can actually have a name called Krishna. If you can somehow connect these all dots, you're a winner. You're a winner. That's the whole program of this Bhakti Yoga. Does that make sense? You're saying something, Edward? Yeah, it's very normal. Please accept this as it's actually a very normal thing to happen in when we are, like, I'll give you an example, right? Say you take a military example, an army example, like, so I have like very close friends in army. I had very close friends, like who survived and come back from the Tiger Hill War, the Kargil wars, and who survived, and they were going with the army and repairing the tanks. He was a tank engineer. So even if he didn't want to die, he had to be there. So it was a very awkward situation. So what happens is, when he comes back, so there was this point where they had this tunnel, and the water is gushing out of the tunnel, and the only way to get through without getting noticed by the opposite is actually swim through that. It's practically that big tunnel. These 6.5 foot men have to go against that about 5 meter, 4 meter tunnels against the water, which is that narrow, and get to the other side, survive it, and then swim still under the water without being noticed, and then get to the other side. He said to me, when the first time he heard that, he said, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Because you literally have to detach yourself from the body to be able to do that. You cannot do that if you cannot do that if you can't transcend your body. Because half of the time, most of the time, you enter that, you become claustrophobic. If you have claustrophobia, you're dead in there. So he told me, like, going through the tunnel, and when he was halfway through, he literally transcended his body. And it's not something it's not a choice. It had to be done. He had to transcend his body. Otherwise, there was no way he was going to get through the tunnel. He had no choice. So halfway through, there's one thing that comes to his mind is, should I just back off? No, but there's 6 other people already pushing behind you. So there's no backing off. So the only chance he has is, I'm not this body anymore. That spirit takes over. It's not like he's read Bhagavatam, but that spirit takes over, that camaraderie, that spirit takes over. It practically pops out of the body. They just go through. And then once they do it, boom, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. And then it's like, by the 12th time, it's like in the Blacktown Leisure Center pool. It's like doing a breaststroke in the Blacktown Leisure Center pool. So it's normal. Please don't be discouraged if it's not at this point, if it's not coming to the stage where you cannot see yourself away from the body. Please don't be discouraged. It's normal. It's normal. But after you chant Hare Krishna for a considerable time, and after you're in the company of people who are acting like they're not their body, who are acting it's a very bad way to say it. It's like it makes it arbitrary. Maybe it's better way to say it is, who are acting like their Atma. You see what I'm saying? Once you in their company, when you do that, and when you're in that company, and when you see that, and then all of a sudden this thing comes to you just continuously do it. It's like the tunnel. You do it 12 times, 13 times, 24 times, and the 26th time, it's like when the new people come and they're struggling, you're like, come on, man, what are you worried about? What's the big deal? You will be like that. I promise you, and I'm guaranteeing you, you will come to a point where you will be like that lieutenant, commander in general, chief, and the young boys will come and they're doing claustrophobic, and you're thinking, come on, man, what are you doing? A little kick up little kick up the backbone, tailbone. Let's put it nicely, yeah? So please understand, don't be discouraged. I promise and I guarantee you, you will get that point. Because You know why I'm saying that? Why would I say guarantee you? Why would I say that? Because that is your original situation. This Edward, Bhakta Edward, or this socially Varun, my social name is Varun, initiated is Radhika Prasad. But if I just go back to that social designation, see, we don't understand in the eternality of the time, we cannot comprehend how fleeting it is. Even when you look at a lamp, for example, you look at a lamp, right? Just a fire lamp. I'm not talking about electricity, even electricity lamp. You looking at it and you think from your eye perspective, it looks like it's a continuous flame. But it's not. If you watched a candle light for 30 seconds, you watched, we're talking about approximately 3 trillion frames. Coming and going, coming and going, coming and going, pulsating. They call it pulsating. It's actually pulsating, but you cannot, it's imperceptible. Is it all English okay, or is it too much English for a Tuesday morning? It's imperceptibly happening in front of your eyes. But if you watch that candle for 30 seconds, you watched about approximately 3 trillion frames of it. Did you know that? So when we are stuck in this body, because it's so imperceptible, it is happening so imperceptibly like that candle flame, it's very hard to see for you. For now, it's very hard to see because it looks like one continuous, seamless experience. But please, I promise you, I guarantee you, Hare Krishna Mantra and Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita will bring you to a point where you will actually see the frames of your life. And when you start seeing the frames of your life, then the next question is, who is watching these frames? Do you see where I'm at? And that's a very good question you ask, because it's a segue to the next part I'm going. And I'll just check with Nikhil there. What's any question there? I did? Okay. I have a thing, don't I? I must. Say again, sorry. It happened with Jada Bharat, remember? Sorry, it happened with Bharat Maharaj, remember? But that was an exception, okay? He did that. It was done by Krishna for us to learn. We don't take that as an example to say, oh, Bharat Maharaj fell down. Be careful. Okay? That's a very, exceptional story arranged by Krishna, so we learn from it. So it happens. That is the whole point. When Devahuti was getting into the plane, it's like, don't turn back, don't look back. So Indriyana, the second chapter, last verse, Krishna says very interesting. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmanonu vidhiyate tadasya harati pragnam vayurnavam ivam bhasa. Says all you need is your one sense. All you need is your one flavor. Sense in the sense of Indriyanam. Indriyanam is what belongs to the sense. What belongs to the sense is that one flavor that particularly lusts you. Even one of them is enough. Indriyanam charanam yanmanonu vidhiyate vayurnavam imambhasa. Just as wind, one mast is broken by the wind, finished, the boat is finished. So he says all you need is one flavor that's left, and it brings back. So as long as we keep discarding, this is the point I want to make, as long as you keep discarding your eternal constitutional, your right, your entitlement to be in bliss 24/7. Don't let anybody steal that. Don't let anybody steal that away from you. That's the only thing you got to do. Don't let anybody steal that bliss away from you. When you do that, is that little flavor comes and distracts you, and boom, and you're back in the body. No loss, neha bikrama ashosti. There's never a loss in this endeavor. Krishna will always help you restore. But still, the better position is if we can somehow just keep losing those flavors. Every day, tell I lost 10 flavors today. You know, every night you go to sleep, you go, damn, I lost 10 flavors today. Material, sense gratificatory flavors. You understand? So I was going into a segue. What was the segue? What was your question? Oh, that. Yeah. So yeah, there's one more point I want to make before I move into the next part. One of the points I want to make is that see, this is the mantra. Can you all say this mantra with me? Your body depends on your consciousness. Your consciousness doesn't depend on your body. Can we do that all together? Like 3 times. This is the mantra I want to teach you today. This is the secret ear mantra. So, your body depends on your consciousness. Your consciousness doesn't depend on your body. Your body depends on your consciousness. Your consciousness doesn't depend on your body. Your body depends on your consciousness. Your consciousness doesn't depend on your body. Did you see the mantra? You say it, it happens. You say it, it happens. And life is beautiful. When you can achieve that, it's beautiful. It's like, God, what a life. You understand? So, let me just read a little bit more, and then the vital force always exists within the soul, and when the soul is awakened from so-called sleep, he can see these 11 friends or the active senses and the mind with their various desires. The vital life force remains. Even during our sleeping hours, we can understand by virtue of our breathing process that the snake lives by eating the air. See, remember I was telling you the ocean birds live by eating the air. So the vital force stays alive by eating the air that passes through the body. So I gave you the example of how the ocean bird lives by eating the air in the ocean. Yeah? So why is it so hard to believe that Atma can live by eating the air? It's not. Hiranyakashipu did that. So, no problem. Even during our sleeping hours, we can understand by virtue, no, I think I read that. Air is exhibited in the forms of breathing, and as long as breath is there, one can understand that a sleeping man is alive. Even when the gross body is asleep, the vital force remains active and alive to protect the body. Thus the snake is described as living and eating air to keep the body fit for the life. So, so it keeps us, when the consciousness traveling through the body wakes us up. Otherwise you couldn't wake up. See, please, okay, listen to this carefully. To say something is changing, we always say the world is changing, right? But to say something is changing, there has to be something not changing to observe the changing. Do you understand? If you're standing on a shore of a river, Ganges, it's beautiful. I was standing in Uttar Kailash, and we were doing Chaitanya Charitamrita. Maharaj was traveling with Bhakti Ashra Vaishnava Maharaj, and he was doing Chaitanya Charitamrita on the bank of Ganges, and the Ganges is flowing. You're on the shore. You say the Ganges is changing. Why? Because you're on the shore. So if you're saying that everything in the world is changing, everything in your body is changing, there is something that the changing is in respect to something that is not changing. Otherwise, you can never say something is changing. Because if you say something is changing, you have to say in respect to something that is not changing. That is your conscious entity. Do you see? So if I'm saying my body has changed, so I'll give you, this is the segue I was talking about. So it's called, sorry about the philosophy, I'm very sorry. Because Puranjana's story is philosophical. There's no point like, giving you, watering it down just because I want to, make it pop culture or something. It's a philosophical story. So just, if you're allergic to philosophy, I've got some pills. Give you so carry some pills with you. But I'll just do a quick philosophy. It's called higher order thinking. Jiva Goswami talks about this. He makes 4 propositions in his Tattva Sandarbha. So one of the 4 propositions he makes to understand this unchanging self of yours is called, first thing he does is higher order thinking. Say for example, you just go into a room after this class, when you get a chance, go to the room and just close your eyes and think about your thoughts. The thoughts that are coming, just observe, not think, observe your thoughts. Yeah? And then the next step is to observe that the thoughts are traveling. So that's next level, right? And the third level is to come back as an observer and see all these thoughts are apart from me, traveling away from me. So it's called higher order thinking. You go one step higher. Tattva Sandarbha. This is all higher order thinking. You look at you feel the thoughts first, and then you see the thoughts passing, and then you see as a witness separate from the thoughts. So it's called higher order thinking. Jiva Goswami gives this proposition to explain us how to see as a witness of your body. That's number 1 he does. Second one I think I gave you previously. He also asks you to go to the first day of your school. Close your eyes, transport yourself to the first day at your school. Just feel all the emotions. Feel all the emotions that you're feeling on the first day at school. Yeah? Feel all the emotions that the anxiety of what the school is going to do to you, the hopes of what you're going to get out of the school, the depression of saying bye to your parents, confusion of all these strange people, strange muppets that you have to hang around with. Think about it. Come back now. See, you're still the same guy. If it was a different person, you wouldn't be able to catch hold of those now. Emotions. Not just the day, but the emotions. You wouldn't be able to catch hold of them. So Jiva Goswami, this is his third proposition. He takes you back. And there's another he gives you, is called a zombie experiment. Zombie experiment is where, of course, Jiva Goswami didn't use the zombie word, so don't look at me like that. But I'm giving you the English term for it. So he says, imagine like you're completely out, like no thoughts, no experiences in you. Just 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Actually, it's impossible to imagine that. It's impossible to imagine. Close your eyes and imagine no thoughts, no experiencing in your body. It's actually impossible. Hypothetically say you did that. And come back and look at your hand as if you're looking at it as first time. Like you're looking at it for the first time. For a few seconds, you get the detachment. Try these things. 3 things I just said. Just try these things when you have your passive time. I promise you, you'll start getting the glimpse of your separateness from the body. Just do the zombie. 1 is a zombie experiment. Just imagine like no emotions, no experiences in the body, no observations, nothing. Like all of a sudden, look at it as if you just come into consciousness and you can look at the body. Who is this witness? Who is this observer? Just hits you on the head. Wow. And then the second one I said was the higher order thinking. Thoughts, and then the train of thoughts, and then the witness of the thoughts. And the third one I said was transporting yourself to the school, first school day. Do this. And then come back and say, who that person and this person is the same person. But everything has changed around you. And now connect back to what I was saying. In terms of if you have to say something changing, it has to be in respect to something that hasn't changed. Now you put this all together. You keep putting this all together again and again and again and again. You do that about a dozen times. You will understand your existence beyond the body. Just do this like few times. So I gave you about 4 techniques today, right? Just try this. And then I also gave you that secret mantra. The body depends on the consciousness. The consciousness doesn't depend on the body. So you do these 4 exercises, and then you do that mantra when you're doing this. I promise and guarantee you, of course, after like 16 rounds a day, minimum, I promise and guarantee you, you'll start glimpsing yourself away from the body as a third person. The social Edward, Buck Edward, as a third person. And then you see yourself as a part of the Supreme Brahman, Krishna. And life is God amazing. God, life is amazing. So this is what Puranjana and Puranjani's story is about. Puranjana is saying, so Puranjana comes and says, look, let's tie back to the first point I was saying. Puranjana is saying, who are these 11 guards and all these female companions? The 11 guards are the Shrotam cha, Krushparshanam cha, Rasnam Grahanam evacha, Adhishtaya manas Vishayan upasevate. So the mind and the 10 senses grouped around, they are popping from one sense, jumping from one sense gratification to the next. And the interesting that she says is, this is intelligence, remember? Still remember? Puranjani is the intelligence that he is lusting afterwards. The interesting thing she says is that, I don't know who these people are. Now that's interesting. There's so many things that you don't know what's happening in your body. I can blow your mind away. Do you know there are 38 trillion cells in your body? Did you know that? You know? Oh, really? Wow. See that? And I'm taking that you counted them all. So I counted, trust me, I counted them all. Took me a night. 38 trillion cells in the body. And there are 5 vital aids going on in the body. And you just popping, you just pop a samosa or a gulab jamun or a hash brown. Be my guest. Think whatever you want to. And you pop it in the way, and the way it transforms with the one of the 5 pranas, we call it oxygen, and the way it interacts with the aham vaishvanaro bhutva dehinam pranamashrita prana samayukta pachamanyam chaturvidham. So 15.14 Krishna says, I am the one working as that fire of digestion. How that's happening, how the liver comes and purifies, how then the liquid goes into the kidneys and gets purifies the blood, and how the liver is coming and purifying all the digestive acids. You don't know. Do you know? You don't know. You're just eating and you're saying, God bless the cook. That's all we're saying, like, God bless the cook. But we don't know. So what's the surprise that the Puranjani here is saying, I don't know who these people are. We don't know we don't know anything that's happening in the body. That's another thing for you to think about. How can you be a body that you don't know anything about? How can you be that body that you got no faintest clue about it? But Atma is Satchitananda, completely fully aware. In Atman position, it's not like you don't know. You're fully aware. It's beautiful. The state of that full awareness, that's the Veda with knowing. That knowing capacity of the Atma, when compared to the capacity in your body where you have no faintest clue about your body, I gave it away. I gave it away. Didn't I? I just gave it away. Which one could be true? Where you are, your body, which you have no idea what's going on, and you can sometimes you can have. I had problems, so many problems in my body that like I've gone to specialists who charged like $500-600 just to get me into the room. They had no idea what's going on. 6 of them in a row. The problem I had with the back, 6 of them in a row. Like you don't understand. Like I can't tell you. The pain is just. That's another Jiva Goswami's. Avoiding suffering. That's the 4th proposition of Jiva Goswami in Tattva Sandarbha. Avoiding suffering. You're always avoiding suffering. Not pain. You may go to the gym and take the pain. No pain, no gain, right? You'll take them. But suffering, you're avoiding all the time. Why would you do that? This is Jiva Goswami's another question. So if you put all those 4 things I said, one is the zombie experiment, one is the first day at school experiment, and the third is what was the third one? The higher order thinking, and then you put why are you avoiding suffering in this body? And you don't have a clue. How can you be a body that you don't have a faintest clue about? Or in comparison, you have consciousness that is fully cognizant. I mean, just go by epistemology, for God's sake. Which could be more true? Just logically tell me. Which has to be more true? You understand what I'm trying to say? Do you see what I'm trying to say? So, listen. If you don't stress now. This is recorded, right? So, no stress, please. Just relax for now. Too much information. I can understand. Okay, I can be a little bit of a nutcase. I can understand that. So don't stress now. Just watch this again. Go through all the steps that I've mentioned, the 4 propositions of Jiva Goswami, and the mantra I told you. If you do that along with chanting, trust me, you will see yourself separate from the body. And you will start getting the glimpses of that full cognizant Atma. And you see yourself as an Atma. And life is beautiful. A quick Sankirtan story to finish? Yeah? You like Sankirtan? Who likes Sankirtan story? Oh my, now I have to say. So, what used to happen in the initial days when I was just starting, this was Hare Krishna. So this was a long time ago, I can't remember the year. Maybe this was 2012, doesn't matter what. It was long time ago. So, what I used to do is when there is Harinam going on, what I used to do, I wouldn't be in the Harinam. I used to have nearly a 15-kilo bag. Guess where my back problems comes from? Duh! I used to have a 15-kilo bag, like running around like a monkey. And then I was going around, and this guy from Norway, and he looked at me and he said, "What is this?" And I said, "They're having fun." What is it? I said, "They're all saints. and they're having fun in the Krishna consciousness. That's what it is. But I don't subscribe to that, he said. So I said, what do you subscribe to? He said, I subscribe to science. Oh, okay. So first thing, I don't understand, why are they so different? I wasn't going to argue with him that. But so I said, so what do you mean by that? Please explain. He said, science, something that you can actually feel and you can actually empirically touch, and it's tangible. I said, so do you have a wife? Do you have children? Do you have a family? He said, yes. So what about love? What about morale? What about virtues? What about justice? Oh, that can be easily explained. I said, why? How? Social science. Huh? One, social science is not accepted as hard science. So you have no idea what you're talking about. Number two, can you bring that moral and love and justice and virtues and freedom, put it under, pin it under like a butterfly under your microscope? Tell me today, what color is virtue, please? Can you tell me what color is virtue? And he's looking at me. He's staring at me. I said, what color is justice? Can you give me blue, like 4 blue blocks of justice and 3 green blocks of moral? Can you do it? You just told me that social science figured it all out. So tell me, where did you pin this morals and love and respect and friendships? Where did you pin it down? When did you do this? I said, just get a book and read, for God's sake. just read the book. See, don't be an eternal skeptic. You don't have to promise yourself to be, you don't have to do yourself this eternal favor of being an eternal skeptic. And it's defeating your purpose anyway. You're shooting yourself on the foot. What are you doing? Why are you shooting yourself on the foot? And why is that not science? Why are these 6 brahmacharis or grihasthas, doesn't matter, all the mixture of devotees, dancing and singing in full connection with their consciousness, with their atma, and reclaiming their eternal ananda, eternal bliss? Why is that not science? You can roll with your partners in the, sorry about the language, but you can roll with your friends and so-called partners and, jump from one partner to another, roll in the grass naked in the gardens. That is no problem. That is like chemistry and biology. But when these 6 people here are dancing in their consciousness, reclaiming their original ananda position, their blissful position, why is that not science? Can you imagine like the guy is just like, I just take a book and just calm your mind. Just slow down. Don't give me this science thing to me. Okay? Just slow down, man. Don't speed read. We have speed reading cameras. Uh-oh. So we have these speed reading cameras. Don't speed read science. Don't speed read shastras. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Does that make sense, or did I completely throw you off? Like, next time you have a mic outside the temple. Radhika Prasad is coming. Just 7:45, get out of there. So, anyway, so hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully I gave you some tips and tricks to understand how you can see yourself away from this, the circuit of your body. Hopefully I gave you the perspective of the Puranjana's lust for Puranjani, the lust of Puranjani. And hopefully now you understand the 11 gods and all the desires a little better. Hopefully you understood the higher order thinking, and particularly the ocean birds and the ocean ducks, how they can live by eating wind, by the energy, like generating energy from the wind gradients. If a ocean duck can do that, what's the big deal that your atma can do that? Your consciousness can do. Why are you ripping yourself off? Why are you, what do you call that, shortchanging yourself? Why are you shortchanging yourself? Should that be the topic of this class? Like title of this class? Don't shortchange yourself. You think so? Will that be good? Righto. I'll stop there now. I think I've given you enough headache. Sorry, but do you have a Panadol or a Nurofen? No. So if you're getting a headache, we can. You have a Panadol or something? You okay? All right, I'll stop there. So, any more questions? Are we happy with this? Oh, we have a question. Yeah, please. Yeah, Shariram Yadavapnoti Yecha Putkramatishvara. Okay. Good question. Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. See, it's very simple. If you were not dependent on Krishna, you would be Krishna. But just looking at your life, we don't have the power. Look at our just take a look at our vulnerability. All you need to do, you understand vulnerability? You understand the word? Helplessness, like vulnerability. So just when you just take a look at, not just yours, me too. When I just take a look at my vulnerability in life, it is very clear that I'm living like I'm a freeloader. I'm a freeloader. You understand the word freeloader? Aussies understand that. I'm a freeloader on sunlight. I'm a freeloader on the winds. I'm a freeloader on the skies. I'm a freeloader of the water. Anything good in life is for free. All good things in life are for free. All good things in life are free. Am I true or true? But we just get conditioned to pay the bills, because right from the school age, we are conditioned to go to a particular career and to program you to pay the bills all your life. But all good things in life are for free. And when you look at how much dependent on your sun, you are on the sun, how much Surya Narayana, he is the direct representation of Krishna on this planet. That's why Om Bhur Swaha, when the second Brahmana initiation happens, that's the Gayatri mantra. Om Bhur Swaha Tat Savitur Vasarenyam. Savita, that sun. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Please give me that energy to understand through you Krishna consciousness. Diyo Yonap Chodayat. So you're depending on sun every day, which is Krishna's representation. You're depending on wind every day. You're depending on water. You're depending on sky. You're depending on love. You're depending on people to obey laws in the city that you are. You are sure that when there is a red light, green light, you're going and nobody will come and kind of Z-crash you. You understand? So you're dependent on so many things. So when a world cannot function, everything contingent on one another. It cannot be like that. You cannot just say, this depends on that, this depends on that, this depends on that. You cannot just go into an infinite race. Someone, by logic, Aristotelian logic, something has to be foundational, not depending on anything else, for everybody else to depend on. That's a logical necessity. So if you are depending on something, and Bhakta Edward is depending on something, Bhakta Nikhil is depending on something, sorry, I forgot your name. Huh? Amrit is depending on something. Sorry, I missed your name, bro. Huh? Shahir. Shohel. Saurya. So Shaurya, we are all dependent, right? But if that's dependent on this dependent on that, this dependent on that, this dependent on that, this dependent on that, what is true? What is truth then? You can never say anything true if everything is dependent on everything. There has to be something absolutely true in all circumstances. Just like in terms of you saying that things are changing, there has to be something in respect to something that is not changing. So if you're saying something is always depending, it has to be in respect to something that doesn't depend on anything. Do you see the logic? Do you see the connection now? Do you see the connection now? So if you are dependent, so that independent, aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartate iti matta bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. That independent is our Radha Gopinath, Bhagavan. That independent people are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. And it's possible to see this. Just listen to this again and again. Listen to this, the previous experiments I gave you, and listen to in terms of two things, remember. In terms of say something is changing, it has to be in respect to something that's not changing. In terms of saying something is always depending, it has to be in respect to something that is independent. When you understand these connections, then you get Jnana Chakshu. Then you see Krishna. You don't see Krishna with his eyes. You don't see Krishna with material eyes. You see Krishna with Gyan Chakshu. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. You understand? Doesn't make sense? So, yeah, please, if this was too loaded, don't panic. I'm not here to scare the hell out of you. Just go through this again and again a few times. Penny will sink. And when penny will sink, tears will come out of your eyes of joy. And when that tears of joy comes on the day that the tears of joy comes, then you will say, God, thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada. So, how are you feeling? Good? You okay now? Yeah? You're thinking, why did I ask this? Like, don't. And someone else is going to ask a question. Stop it. Don't ask him any questions. So I just genuinely want to thank you for being here. Genuinely. And see, she has to go to work. And she was, Jay Radhika was sitting patiently. She has to go to work. So I really want to appreciate and thank you for coming here and tolerating this too many mechanics and short circuits and consciousness philosophy. But eventually it gets, once you go to the stories, I can do some stories for you guys. But Puranjana, this is philosophy. So, yeah, forgive me for all the loaded lecture, but thanks. Vanchakalpatarubhascha, krupasindubhyevacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Nitai ki, ISKCON, International Society of Krishna Consciousness ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.